antics in the corner. Hey, how you doing? I'm Joe Bodnar of Bodnars. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I can't believe it. Hey, welcome to Bodnars Bid and Banter, our second podcast. I'm Joe Bodnar of Bodnars Auctions and this podcast, and we have...
I'm Maureen.
The lovely Maureen.
Well, I'm not calling myself lovely.
Well,
That's
the
just
lovely
weird.
Maureen Bodnar. And with us today, back from the last podcast, he's decided to come back. We got Danny. Go ahead.
How do?
All right. And with us for the first time today, we have Tracy.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. I'm a little nervous.
A little nervous.
Nervous.
Oh, listen,
I was going to say, we all got that out last time.
Yeah, we got that out of
We
our
were
mouths.
nervous.
Everyone's always a little nervous their first time.
Yeah, no, first time's always nervous, but then after this, you're going to be, boom,
Gonna be
ready
pro.
to go.
Pro.
Yeah.
A pro.
A pro.
Exactly.
Perfect.
What a day we had today. I know you were here
I
decorating.
was here cleaning,
But you were
Christmas.
decorating this beautiful festive house for Christmas.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Christmas season.
It looks beautiful.
Gorgeous.
We
Stunning
did a
even.
fantastic
Gorgeous.
job.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful day fighting.
I heard.
That's all I can say, right?
I've heard.
What would you say to that?
Everybody was on 10.
Yes, it was a tense day in the
Did
building.
you say, when you're a
It's
family,
also Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the 13th, but you have to remember we have a Yoda back there working with us, right?
That's right. He's trying to give us peace, but alas.
Yoda, or is he more of like, what is that, Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I like that. Yes.
Gollum? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think that he's more like,
Precious.
well, we got right now Yoda's sitting back there with us. We have a life-size Yoda. I don't know if he's really life-size, but he's pretty life-size.
You
Yeah.
were talking about an actual Yoda.
I was really talking about Yoda because everyone who walked in, they all said, "Who's that?" We go, "That's our new employee. He's been working back there with us the past week or
you
two."
were talking about someone that works
No,
with
no,
us.
but-
Equal opportunity employer.
But Jeffrey does kind of look like Yoda, don't you?
More
think?
like Gollum, I would
Yeah,
say.
Gollum.
I would
And
say a little
my
bit.
little
give
pretty.
Gollum,
He's
yeah.
missing
My little pretty. Exactly.
He does give my precious.
But today,
Precious vibe.
he was over the top, man.
Well, that's
all I can
official.
say.
Jeff could never hear this podcast.
like,
He won't listen.
It's amazing how one person could just like ruin your day.
I mean, I can usually deal with it pretty well, but
Right.
oh God, sometimes he just gets right under your
Today
skin
was-
and
Today was one of those days. I don't know, man. He just like you give him 2 days off. He said he slept for 2 days. I don't know. Maybe he was out there partying up
He
for
was
2 days.
partying.
But boy, was he brutal. And the best thing, he did to us today. He goes, I think we should have some pizza. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds good, right? Oh, by the way, I have no money.
I have no money.
I got no money.
I got $1.
He had $1.
had
That's
$1.
right.
He had
$1.
$1.
So then, I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna make him eat the crust. That's all I'm giving him. I don't want to hear it. He borrows money constantly. It's like, oh my God. But the best was he goes like that. Oh, we should order something. Oh, I have $1. And then we sit there, we're like feeling guilty that we're gonna eat.
of course.
Tracy was good enough to be the one this time to throw the money in the pot.
Yes.
my big back did not feel guilty.
No,
Right? I was hungry.
But, don't let a person go hungry.
After all these years, I feel not this much guilty.
You can't. You got to remember, he's on
all
the
these
22-year plan. I think he's been with me 22 years.
22?
22
Okay.
years.
I think
wow.
it's 22. So I've been doing it for 30. I think it's been longer than that because he was probably at my third auction
That's a lot of
working
Jeff.
for me.
That's
So
a lot of
That's
Jeff.
he's been around 26 years, 27
consistently.
years. He always says, "Where's my watch?" I think I should get him like a Timex.
Don't buy him a watch. He'll hawk it.
Oh, he will hawk it. I don't disagree. He would hawk it.
He's a good
But
boy.
26 years of that.
Wow. Wow.
But I'll tell you, he had his moments, but as he's gotten older, he really has his moments. Right?
Yeah. He's had his good moments.
He did have his good
He's
moments.
had his good moments.
The best was, listen, I told him, we're coming here and bashing you today. So he used to
he
come
doesn't
in,
feel bad
I swear to
about
God,
this.
he used to drink extremely heavy, right?
did.
Maybe he still does. But I used to pick him up in the morning, right? Because
he
he
would
lived at my grandmother's
smell.
house for many, many years. I lived at my grandmother's house.
okay,
and
okay.
I gave him my place when I moved out. And I used to pick him up at 9 o'clock in the morning, and he would get in the truck, and I could smell the vodka still smell the vodka. And I used to get so mad because, listen, at that time,
Remember those
I was a
days.
heavy drinker myself. I was tanking 20 shots a night, no problem, like that in an hour, just to get that nice boom.
Wow.
It was a boom too, let me
Wow.
tell you. But at any rate,
Been there.
it's amazing my liver's still working. But I used to pick him up, and if I smelled liquor on him, I'd be like, all right, buddy. And he'd come stumble in the truck, and we would go to a job, and that would be the day I would make him carry boxes up and down the stairs. I'd be like, oh, we got boxes of books. Great. You're moving them up and down the stairs all day long. I don't want to hear it. And he would do it, and he would get through it. There's only one time I sent him home. There was one day he stumbled in, right? I opened the car door. He gets in, and he stumbles in, and I look at him. I said, Get out. And he went, oh, shit. And he walked out and got out.
I could hear him saying it.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God.
He was happy, too. I'm sure he was like, thank God Joe said to go.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Oh, Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, please. He was probably planning the performance on the way there.
Yes. That's exactly.
Oh, 100%.
Please.
If you wonder why Jeff thinks he can get away with everything, it's because he can.
Well, I've let him get away. But, he's worked very hard. I have to say over the years, he's worked very hard and is loyal. He's only called out. I really have to say, he really couldn't call out because we'd pick him up. So I guess that's another.
It's like, you're coming.
Face.
Yeah,
You're coming.
Exactly. I didn't want to hear it. Right? What?
Don't say he's only called out.
Oh, maybe more than once.
More than once
I
since
don't know.
I've been here.
Do not remember that pickup where Tommy had to pack.
I remember the one pickup where Tommy had to pack. I remember the one pickup.
You weren't there either.
Oh, I wasn't there either. I guess I called out too. I don't know.
It was supposed to be me,
Yeah.
Fan, Tommy, and Jeffrey
Okay.
on a pickup.
Right.
And Jeffrey just didn't show up for work. Just didn't show up. Now, if you knew Tommy, he never packed anything. He carried everything out of the house.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't carry a thing. I'm sorry. He wouldn't pack a thing. Yeah.
He wouldn't pack anything.
Oh,
he would
he
carry
was the mover.
He would
Like the
carry
mover.
everything out.
He wouldn't help you with anything else. His job was
Move it out.
move it out. He wouldn't even put a sticker on a tub. So we used to have this whole thing where we would get so angry.
Like very pick up,
Put
put
a sticker
down.
on that?
He would be
Sticker on
like, he would tell us, you have a sticker on that? Put a
You have a
sticker
sticker on
it.
that?
I'm like, dude, the stickers are right the fuck there. Grab it, man. What the hell's the matter? You know what I'm saying? He was, and the other thing about, another pet peeve about Tommy, everywhere we went, he left the door open. He didn't care if he had cats. He didn't care if it was 10 degrees out. He didn't care if it was 100 degrees out. He'd leave that door open. I'm like, I have to get out the door. It don't matter if he wasn't
If you
walking
all
out for an
wonder-
hour. The
If
door
you all
would be
wonder
open.
why them leaving the door open in the back is such a trigger for me,
It is a trigger.
Okay.
Drives
Makes
me
complete
bananas.
sense now.
So he called out
But
on this
so
job.
Jeff, he didn't call out. He just
Didn't
no
show up.
show,
A no show,
nothing.
no.
And
I'm very
so
constrictor, huh?
it was the three of us,
With him, yes.
Yes.
and they finished carrying all the furniture out, and I'm still packing. So Fan hops in and helps me. We're packing, and Tommy's standing there, and I handed him a tub and some bubble wrap and said, we're either going to be here all day or you're going to pack.
Right.
And I made him pack. But yeah, no, Jeff calls out all the time.
Well, I know Jeffrey walked home one time. Jeffrey, there was another
That
time.
was the
God.
funniest day. So for everybody out there who doesn't know Jeff, and anybody who's listening, watching, who's been to our auctions,
Well,
you know
people
exactly
who know us, they
Jeff.
know who Jeff is. Everyone who
know who
comes
Jeff
to our
is.
auction live knows who Jeff
If
is.
you don't know Jeff,
He'd be the one extorting you for money for a tip. But anyway, go ahead.
he's like
And he would.
he's like a 2-foot gnome that just crawled out from under a rock.
Yes, I agree
You
with
know,
that. Yes.
he really is.
We
But
love
he's
him.
not
I
cute
love
like
him,
a
don't
gnome.
worry.
He's not. He's like a golem.
A golem of
So-
sorts, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So one day we're
grundle.
on a pickup, and he was not getting along with the woman.
He wasn't, man.
And I was
They were
trying to
just
run.
crushing,
They were just
clashing.
button heads, and I was trying to run interference. I
Yeah.
kept trying to, keeping her in the kitchen. She had jewelry. Oh, let's looking at each piece. Just trying to distract her.
And this was an elevator job in New
an
Brunswick.
elevator
yeah,
job.
We're like
yeah,
on the
to
19th
the Colony
floor.
House in New
God.
Brunswick.
Yep.
And I couldn't. They kept button heads, and so we all go downstairs for something.
He kept grabbing stuff he wasn't
And,
supposed to
yeah.
pack, and he was
being Jeff.
He was being Jeff. He was
being
Jeff
Jeff.
was Jeff.
Doing his own thing.
he was in a
Jeffing.
mood like today.
all the fucking time.
And-
Yes.
and
That's
he-
okay.
All right.
He and Joe got
You
into
can
it.
curse here. I didn't say you couldn't. I just don't want to.
I just assumed.
Say
I just-
the George Carlin like f boo.
Oh, okay.
What is that like cocksucker, fucker? Something.
And you're repeating all
As
the
you're
7
repeating
bad
all of
words.
it.
all the
right?
7 bad words. That's all. You just can't say those 7. Got it?
I'm a firm
No.
believer. I'm a firm believer in a curse word for effect sometimes.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
that.
Like
Listen, people who
sentence
curse,
enhancers.
Yes.
people
right?
who use the
They are.
F-bomb, like fuckity fuck,
Okay.
are very intelligent. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Science
trying-
proves it, folks.
He's
There you
trying
have
to
it.
talk about himself here, by the way.
Wait, I'm sorry. Finish your
So,
story.
Jeff and Joe get into it.
We did get
at
into
the truck.
it. We almost got into it today. I was very close, man.
I felt it.
The
I
tension.
was really angry. But go ahead. Go
And
ahead.
Jeff says, I don't need you. I can walk home from here.
Yeah,
that's
he
my
did say
best
that.
Jeff impression.
Yeah,
by
that
the
was
way,
about what
everybody.
he said. Yep.
And he decided to walk home.
Yeah, go
From
fucking
where?
walk home then, man. That's
We
what
were in
I
the,
said.
Let's get
at the
to
colony
stepping
house
then.
in New
The fuck?
Brunswick. He was
gave-
living in New Brunswick at the
Okay,
time.
Yeah, so,
So
it
he
was
said
a
he
2
could
mile
walk home.
2 mile
Yeah.
walk.
But still.
But he's so short. He's so little. And
Gave
his
him 2
legs
weeks
are little.
off for that one. Hey.
Yeah, I gave him 2 weeks off. His
He
legs were
coming
so
back.
little that I went upstairs, packed some more, brought it down on the elevator, went to the truck, and his little butt was still walking out the parking lot
Yes.
like 45 minutes later.
Yes.
He's a shuffler.
Like it was so, and it was the funniest thing because I was like, he's still there. He's still there. And now we all tease him about it. Like when we went to Brooklyn, we're like, Jeff, don't get in any fights with anybody. You can't walk home from here.
You can't walk home from Brooklyn.
You know, but even his girlfriend did that to him.
He'll figure it out.
Or, you know, the girl he was dating, he picked him up and they got in a fight at Menlo Park Mall.
Yeah.
And she left him on Route 1. by
Jamie?
Menlo Park. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jamie left
Jamie
him by
left him
Route
on
1.
Route
I know her.
And boy, that's
We'll get that.
scary if you know
I did
her.
a show with her
Oh, my God.
back in
Get out of here.
13, 14, somewhere around there.
Wow.
But yeah. And then I like ran into her again, like at a New Year's party, and then never again. And then Jeff was like, "Oh yeah, Jamie," blah, blah, blah. And I was like, the way he was describing her, and then I was like, And then he had a pic. I was like, "Do you have a picture?"
Right.
And then he pulled up a picture, and I was like,
That's her.
I know her. And she, and by no means, let me just say this, looks like somebody crazy enough to date Jeff.
Yeah, no, I think she was crazy enough. Well, she worked for me a couple of times too, and
She
then
did.
finally she's
She's a little
and
spacey.
she was bitching and
Yeah.
bitching about somebody getting a break, and she didn't get a break, and I didn't get a break, but I wanted a break, and you get a break, and I'm just staring at her, looking at her, going, "Well, I okay, then you're fired. Fine, okay, you don't want to work anymore." She's like, "Yeah, I don't want to work anymore." Great. See you later. And then she got the can.
There's been a lot of people that have come.
Well, there's been a lot of
through.
people who've come and gone exactly.
People
through
that
the
only
auction.
lasted one auction.
Well, you know, a lot of people come to the auction or used to, when we were live, everybody wanted to work for me.
everybody
So
thought it was
everybody-
something completely different than what it was.
Exactly.
I'm going to sit around and research all day long, like, you know, with your English library, you know, behind you in the background. And that is not at all what it was.
No, the live auction, and I know neither one of you were really a part of the live auction, but the live auction was really like doing a roadie job for like Bon Jovi. or Taylor Swift. I mean, it was a real production. I mean, that's really what it was.
It was hoof and
Yeah.
tubs, unpacking. I mean, when I tell you, my God,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just, I can't even describe it. Like, if you've been to the Expo Center, and again, anybody who's, you know, been to the live auction and seen it, we had Monday, Tuesday, and half a day on Wednesday
The setup.
to set up an entire box lot sale. And we're talking, what, 20 tables?
Yeah, let's
Top and
put it,
bottom?
let's put it this way. So our to put it in perspective, our building right now is about 2,600 square feet back there. Back now, when we're at the Expo Center, we were utilizing 10,000,
Yeah.
4,000, and 20,000. So that's 20, 30. So 35,000 square feet of tables.
Just tables lined up, and we had to unpack everything.
And we put everything top and bottom. So it was literally an auction would contain 2,400 lots. So think about what the lottage is right now. We're struggling and bitching at 5:00 that we're in lot number 420 at the last auction, and you guys are all looking at me like, "What the fuck?"
That was low-key crazy, Joe.
All right, so 4, 8, 12, 16.
so glad I have people on my side now.
8 times the size of that is what we were running and operating in. So think
we
about
would start
that.
at 11 in the morning, and we wouldn't finish till 2 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
And
2
we had
o'clock
a
in the morning.
jewelry sale, a main sale, a box lot sale, a toy sale, and then
Yeah.
usually some kind of specialty sale thrown in somewhere, maybe in the hallway. If you've been to the live sale, we used to run auctions in a hallway.
We used to run
'Cause
sales
we ran out of room.
outside. Yeah, no, I ran out of the
That's
building.
crazy.
So in the old building at the Ukrainian Cultural Center, where I just
there
learned they
once.
actually
That's
just sold the
big.
place. We literally I started an outside sale there in the field, and the field was just as big as the building, and we had lines of furniture and lines of stuff.
I love that.
And I'll never forget, there was one where it was a snowstorm, right? One of the last sales that were there, and we had everything
the
outside.
last sale.
And it was the last
The
sale.
last sale.
And the fucking place, it starts to snow, right? I'm going, oh my God. And it's like 3 inches of snow, then
It was
4 inches of snow,
like
and then
a
6
foot and
inches
a
of snow.
half, 2
Yeah, it was like a
feet of
foot and a half of snow.
snow.
So everything's covered
We're
in
trying to
fucking snow,
dig
right?
it
And we're there
out.
shoveling it, selling it. We're going, okay, they're walking $5, $7.50, $10, $5, $7.50, $10, and I'm shoveling the fucking
In
shit and
true
going down
Joe
the-
Bodnar fashion.
Total craziness.
And
Total
then
craziness.
we stopped back there like 6 months later after we left, and they're
Yes.
like, by the way, this is the stuff that we found
Yeah,
out
we
there
found stuff
after
after
the
the
snow
fact.
finally melted.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, our stove And it's still our stove.
We
came from that sale.
Yeah, we bought our stove.
It went
at
for
the
like
auction.
$5 at the sale, and the burners are somewhere
One
in
of
the snow out
tops for the
there.
burners is still out there somewhere.
still out
I
there.
had to go to an appliance store to
Yes.
get a new
How
top.
funny. The fact that things melted and they handed you, they're like, we found
"This is
all
yours."
of this.
Total
is
nuts.
yours.
So that was the crazy days, and that was before we moved. Ukrainian Center was at the peak. I think we moved to the Expo Center. Let's see, the COVID would be 2019, 18, 17, 16, 15, probably 2015 is when we moved there. I would think 2014.
2014, I think we moved there.
So the Ukrainian Center, we're going back now 13 years. God, geez, 13 to 15 years ago. But it was a sale. For me, was growing and growing and growing. I mean, we started in a parking lot, or I started in a parking lot in Bound Brook with 200 items, moved to an Elks Club, then moved to the Ukrainian Center. And at the peak of the Ukrainian Center, I kept adding an auction in and kept adding another auction ring in. And we were having 5 auction rings going at once, all at the same time.
You don't
5
have to
auction
tell
rings.
me that it was crazy.
Oh, it was
this
crazy.
guy is the king of, let me see how far I can push the limits.
Hey, everybody can be pushed to the end. You can work it. Trust me. You can do a 20-hour day. You might say, no way, but you'd do it. And you would be like, you know what? You'd feel accomplished that you accomplished that
If
goal.
Erica was here, she'd go, oh, it's no wonder you had a breakdown more.
But
I did.
You had a little mentee bee.
7 years ago, I sort of snapped a little.
yeah, but you didn't snap that much. A bit of anxiety, yes. But I get anxiety all the time.
You think?
I probably have anxiety right now.
Probably.
That would be
I sure
my
do.
guess.
My ADHD is on 10.
There you go. Maybe just a little. It was just a little snap, just a little snap. But listen,
It was just a fracture, not a clean break.
I think Janet might beg to differ. I can't wait for
scotch?
Janet to hear this.
Oh,
The
Janet
phone
might beg to
calls.
differ.
The phone
I don't
calls.
know. But yes, no, we
Janet.
used to put. I
Janet was
have
my
a tendency to
Xanax
push
provider
the
for a
limits.
while there.
But you think about this. So in those days, we literally would have a line for people to check in and check out. It would be like a 2-hour line that was like 100 people
not
in
when
line.
I took over the
until she
office.
took over. That was God
Not
rest
when
her
I took
souls, Big
over.
Al and Shirley.
And that was like all cash? Or was that card days as well?
Well, no, it was. I wish it was all cash. Can you imagine how much cash coming through? My
Well,
God.
I just assumed
But you know what?
because
I'll be
like,
honest
if
with
you had
you.
like that large of a volume.
No, when
know
you
what I mean?
think about it,
No,
I used
it
to
was
think
hard
about, my
to-
God, it's amazing we don't get robbed. You start thinking shit like that. But I would say,
that's why I asked, 'cause
I
I
would
feel like
say
that
a
would
majority of the
add to some
sales
issues.
back then
Yeah.
was like 30% was in cash, 40% was in cash, the rest in
Yeah.
check, and credit card was the opposite.
Checks.
I mean, I won't even
that's
take
going
a
back a
check
long
right
time
now.
ago.
Whoa.
You don't even know what cash is. That's what bugs my mind. Every time you order lunch, you're like, what, cash?
I'm
Vemo?
sorry that it's
Vemo? I don't even know what
2024.
Vemo is. I know you're saying it right. Vemo?
It's 2024, soon to be 2025, and yet you have still refused to use Venmo.
I will not use Venmo.
I have
Zelle,
Venmo. I have
Cash App.
Venmo.
No,
More
cash.
than the next time I get food,
Moolah.
I'm going to send you the money.
I like the money. The money. There is no such thing as money. We had an auction. We had a sale. The most money I ever
Here we
took
go.
in. All right. We had this fantastic sale of railroad
the
memorabilia.
train stuff.
Fantastic. I mean, the best. It was the best. This guy
would go, and as old train stations were closing down, he would take the signs off the old buildings.
Yes.
He would take whatever he could find,
Like
Yeah, the-
ephemera.
like the little
Stuff like,
things they used to
architectural
use to
salvage.
stamp your tickets. They're called date or dies.
Date or dies.
And they, what do they need them for anymore? Now the technology these days, he had everything. He had clocks from like
Like the
Train
station
cars.
walls and things.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He had the front of an engine.
Wow.
A front of an engine.
we had
Yes.
train signs off of old train buildings bringing $10,000 a sign.
Big money. I mean, listen,
This was like,
This just was such a great sale. And I didn't even
wow.
call that auction
Wow.
because I had one of my other auctioneers call it. I wish I called it, but it was so big. This was great too. We're at the Ukrainian
rent a
Center.
circus
We
tent.
had no room in the back. They had a circus tent in the back, and I was able to, I don't know. They were having another big Indian event there, and I was like, "Well, I'll pay for half the tent, and we'll use it, right?" And when I say a circus tent, it was like
huge.
200 feet by 50 feet circus tent. It was
three-room
true.
circus?
Yeah.
It was a real Ringling Brothers.
All right.
It was Bodnars and Bodnar Circus,
Wow.
All right. So we laid it all out there and shit, man, fucking 10,000, $15,000, $8,000, $12,000. Anyway, the sale, just that alone brought $250,000 for the train collectibles. Cause we had 2 sales from them. That was sale 1, and that shit smoked. I mean, it brought
3
so much
sales,
money.
actually.
Maybe we did 3 sales if you include the silver plate that we just sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be 3 sales. But the first time around, and this guy, he collected. He would go to. They retire an engine or they retire a train, and they take the last ride, and then they like sell off some of the parts off the engines, and people buy it or they take it and what have you. And he just had fantastic shit, and that shit smoked. So that sale, we get a guy from Ohio. God rest his soul too.
Yeah,
He's passed now.
He died too.
He died too. He was a big collector. He came in this big dually pickup truck, bigger than mine. It was like one of those Chevy
Super Duties.
But it was it was even bigger. It was one of those. They only were out for a couple years. The
Somewhere
Chevy ones that look like a tractor trailer,
Yeah, like
but
an international
but a
and
dually.
a truck.
Oh, okay.
You know, one of the
Yeah,
real
yeah.
big suckers.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was called a
Huge.
kiosk or a chaos. I always wanted one. But anyway, he had a set of horns on there, train horns that were so fucking loud. So he comes and he dropped alone $70,000,
Yeah.
$80,000, paid cash that night. So
Cash.
that was probably the most cash I took in one night.
What
from
about
one
the comic
person.
book sale?
And the comic book sale, yes, that he paid close to
wild.
$80,000 that night too. I think, right?
Came in with an armed guard.
He had an armed guard.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
Cash.
shit. in
He
today's
came.
world.
He came with an armed guard with cash, and we went in a back room and literally
Sorry.
he paid his bill.
I
I,
like
don't want
that.
to say
I
his
had a-
name
it
online.
gives
but
fuck
yeah.
around. Find out.
I don't
That's
want to
what
say
it
his
is.
name, but you know who you are.
You know who you
sir.
are, and most people would know who he
Yeah,
is.
if I said your name,
that's why I
you
don't
will
want to
know
say
who
his
you
name.
are too.
Oh.
But I had a little memory there. Monica, who used to run the office for me,
Yes.
we took him in the back room and counted a little bit of it. But being who he was, I said, "I trust you." That it's all. That was about $75,000 in cash, and he left. And Monica said, "Now let's take the 75 and turn it into something else." We were going to spread it out on a bed and make a video.
I mean, at that point, it's worth it because it's just like how many opportunities do you genuinely have to make it rain
Right.
Especially with hundreds.
without bouncing asses present?
Yes.
I mean, you
and
can make it
hope
rain with
Monica
dollar
hears
bills,
this.
but
You know,
make it
like-
rain with hundreds.
But
It was
that's what I'm
hundreds.
saying. That's
it was
like,
hundreds.
I mean, are you kidding
I have
me?
to tell Monica to watch this now because she's going to laugh at
If it
that
start raining
memory.
hundreds, I'll knock on the door and start shaking my ass.
We-
What the hell? The hell?
There we go.
We were going to take that money and turn it into a whole lot more, but
And
it never
now,
materialized.
cash,
Dead.
zero. And
Dead.
you won't even give me cash.
Here we go.
I give you cash.
You
Here
gave
we
me
go.
cash.
I gave you.
As a matter
I
of
give you
fact,
cash
Erica
every
had
time.
to give me cash for you the other
What did
day.
I give you today?
You gave me some money, yes.
I gave him cash
It was $14.
for my chicken parm sub.
Yeah, he did give me cash today. Yes. I don't know, man. I can't get it. Everything is credit cards now. Everything.
It's just something. It's a convenience thing.
I guess.
You know, it's not something I feel a lot of people, I'm assuming, have a similar.
The world has
feeling.
said it
It's-
this way.
Most
The
of the
government makes
time-
money's evil. You have cash, you're a drug dealer. I mean, this is what I see on Patrol Live. I mean, that's really the deal.
Relax.
I'm just saying, I'm not being conspiracy, but they really do. You walk around with cash, you're like, oh, where'd you
However-
get that money? How do you have that cash? Why do you have that cash? You buying drugs?
Right, matter
you
of
buying
fact.
drugs?
Right.
Yeah, this is like
There are
NWA
times,
here. I don't
there
know.
are times, most of the time I have no cash on me. Most of the time I have zero cash.
Same.
But there are times I do want cash on me.
I don't know. I don't
When
trust
I
the
go
police,
away, I want cash on me because if I go out to a restaurant to eat, I hate waiting around, especially if it's like busy. I'm
valid.
like, I want to put cash down and I want to walk out the door. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to wait around. I'm one of those people that when I'm done eating, I'm not a lingerer. I'm leaving. I'm done.
I'll tell you, whoever invented Visa and MasterCard, they've done a great job in 30 years making us all think now they get 3% of every transaction in the
3.5%.
world. In the
Honestly,
world. Think about that.
I think there's two big factors that play into it. It's convenience is number one.
Yeah.
They got you.
And then also safety. Think about it. Like things are getting
How
like,
did we end up-
weirder and
how did we end up
crazier all the
talking about
time.
this?
You never know. I mean, if you have a lot of cash on you, you never know. Somebody, I mean,
I don't know,
They
man.
can take your credit card. They can
take
your
them.
wallet.
What I got? Come on, they're gonna give me money when they
You
see
want-
my
you want my
balance.
debt? Take my debt,
I used to
please.
say if someone wants to steal my wallet, you got to pay my credit cards before you can use them. So
No credit
go
cards
ahead.
for me. I was like, they can take me to the ATM and I'll be like, see, I told you. And then no, dead ass.
funds.
No, dead ass. No, literally. And then they'll be like, oh wow, sorry. And then they'll give me some money.
Right.
See, that's full circle.
Be like, you know what? I feel
That's-
really bad. Let me
that's
go
nice.
rob the next guy. I'll be back.
There you go.
No, literally.
Robin
He's like,
Hood.
stay right here, and I'll be like, bet. Thank you. Fuck.
There you have it. But back to the train.
Anyway, yeah, trains.
Trains. Hey, talk
That's
trains.
where
Hey,
we
trains.
went from.
But so
That was definitely it.
boom. So
That
the
wonderful,
trains,
the neurospicy path back to trains.
250,000. So we had a second sale of theirs. All right, second sale, and there was these date or dies, and the date or dies, like she was saying, basically used at the train station to
It had the name of like each station on it.
exactly. We're saying New
And then
Brunswick,
you'd
New
stick
Jersey.
the date in the middle.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. So we get the collection,
And these are all Jersey train things.
no,
Or just like
it's
East
the whole
Coast?
United States.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I would say the whole United
Yeah.
States. So we get the collection. We try to look it up. You can't find much about it. You know, you're going, all right, you know, you're finding $150, $70, $80. We're like, okay, whatever.
We couldn't I
find
tried
nothing.
to look them up, and
Can't
this is
find
going
nothing.
back at least 10 years ago. And
prior to what we research nowadays.
I'm looking on eBay. I'm looking here. I'm looking there. I can't really find them.
Can't
anymore.
find
one
nothing.
here, one there. That's because he had them all.
He had them all.
He had them all.
Wow.
Thousands
That's cool.
and thousands of them.
And we sold them, and that collection brought more than the first sale. It brought like 300,000 or something like that, or
And we
350,000.
flooded the market. So
And we
you're
flooded
welcome.
the market.
Look up
absolutely.
Dater
But
Dice now.
they
You
were
find
bringing
them everywhere.
200,
The gates
500,
open.
800,
They're
$1,000. Crazy. I mean, just total
Crazy money.
craziness.
That's wild. That is pretty wild.
Total crazy. And then there was this whole story that there was one real
There was a rare one.
extreme rare one in there, and someone stole it. And I was like, yeah, right. I mean, I think someone made a story up. Then it turned up. I'll never forget this.
It
because
turned up on eBay.
It turned up on eBay. We tracked it to some pawn shop in Staten Island, I
But
think,
one
right?
of our customers was his partner, and so
Yes.
our customer got it back. Was like,
Yeah,
absolutely
that's right.
not.
Because then we went and said, "Hey, man, that's stolen from us. You know, this was the one that everybody was looking for, and they did give it back. I forgot we did.
We
We
got it
collected
back.
on it. We got it back. Can you believe that?
I can't. That's
Right?
insane.
It's hard to believe, especially from a Staten Islander. No offense to the Staten Islanders out there, but you know,
an
I can
island
remember.
made of trash.
Remember the Russian I had a fight with? Were you with us on that
As a
pickup
Puerto
when I
Rican,
went
I can say
nuts? Oh my god! So we had. Speaking of Staten Island, we had a Russian pawn shop guy. I love the Russians now. But let me tell you
Russians are
this.
intense.
They are intense. You know, they really are intense.
face.
But we love the Russians. I love the Russians. I love. I mean,
we have
they were a
derailed
little
here
oppressive to
somehow.
my
Speaking of
Hungarian
trains,
backing,
we
but I love the
derailed.
Russians. You know, you're not Russian.
I'm Polish.
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 So you
Polish.
love the Russians just as much as
My
me.
father loves the Russians.
Does she really?
Yes, he does.
Really? He's communist. Oh my
He's
god.
very, very conspiracy theory.
That he hates the Russians.
No, he loves them.
Oh my
loves
God!
them.
How can he love Russians? No, I'm only kidding. No, he loves the Russians, but
Oof.
so he likes the Russians. See, now the Hungarians despise the Russians.
No, my dad,
because the
he's-
Russians they took us over, but we fought them
We
back.
just lost an entire
and we
demographic.
didn't lose no demographic. The whole sale we're selling right now is Russians coming up. No, you don't have to cut out the
you.
Russians,
Thank
but
you,
anyway.
Christian.
But at any rate,
Cut
but
this
I love the Russians. Where did I go? Oh, the Russian. So there was a Russian pawn shop guy, right? And
He left the sale without
he
paying?
left the sale without paying.
Oh, no.
And I went down to his pawn shop and I went in there and went to collect my money. It wasn't
you
much.
go
It
in
was
like a black suit?
$2,000, I
Yeah.
think. It was up there. It was about $2,000. I got really pissed off. So I went down there and all things, there was another guy, we used to call him Russian Gary, that came to our auctions that bought silver and gold. And he was in the store when I go in there and I come walking in like, where's my money? And he's like, I'm not giving you my money. Where's my whatever? He consigned something and he said it was something we didn't sell for enough money, and that was his justification for coming in and buying
This ain't that.
$2,000 worth of stuff. So I went absolutely berserk, and I was like, I'm going to throw a bomb in your store, blah 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 blah. And Russian Gary's pushing me out the door, and I got my money though, and nothing happened. I didn't get shot. So
Bomb
there
threats
you
are
have it.
crazy. Bomb threats are crazy.
I think I would get the KGB down here.
Oh my God.
I think that's what I said to him. I walked out there. I said,
KGB,
"Man, lucky I
yeah.
didn't fucking die here." You know what the
Oh
hell?
my God.
But well, I guess when I get angry, I get angry, right?
Very rarely.
Very
rarely.
Very rarely do I
No.
get angry.
After that, I hired a guy named Brooklyn J, and he used to go strong on
Yeah,
people for
Brooklyn
me.
J.
Brooklyn J,
Nice.
if you're watching, I miss you.
Yeah, we do miss.
I
Brooklyn
haven't
J.
seen him in so long, but yeah,
He was a great guy.
He used to come to me
sounds
at
chill.
every,
Collect for
yeah, he used to come
unpaid.
to me at every sale, and he'd, because one time he came to check in, and I was like, hey, do you know this person? Because they live kind of near you. And he's like, yeah, I know him. What of him? I said, well, he didn't pay me. And he was like, all right, no problem. Next sale he comes in, he was
got
like,
the money.
here's your money, more.
Yep.
There you go.
And I was like, he was like, you got anybody else? And I was like,
My condom man.
yeah, okay.
Brooklyn J. You know what?
Brooklyn J was
Brooklyn J was great
the
because
nicest guy, but
he would cause a
Scared me.
scene at the auctions. It was so great. Like if you bid against him, he'd get really mad. He'd take a chair and throw it, or he'd be like, he'd look up and be like, stare you down and be like, I'm gonna kick your ass if you bid again, man. And me and him got in a bidding war once because there was a subway train set, of New York, and we're both bidding on it. And I'm up there bidding, and he's bidding, and he's eyeing me down, and I'm like, no, man, I'm buying it. He put me in for like $1,200, $1,300 for this train set, but he was a good guy, though. I love him.
He was a
But
sweetheart.
he was a sweetheart, but boy,
But-
he would put on a show, though. It was great.
he was scary.
He would always
I
have a
wouldn't-
cigarette in his mouth.
Yeah.
Unlit
that.
cigarette hanging out of his
Was it
mouth.
like a cigarette, a wife beater, a
Yes.
chain?
Yes.
Like I'm kind
Yeah.
of seeing the
100%.
image come together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Italian,
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably owned a
Yeah.
junkyard. I think he did own a
jacked
junkyard.
up.
I think he did. I really do.
don't know.
I believe
Oh
he
my
owned a
God.
junkyard.
He
I don't
probably
know if
had
he owned
like
a
4
junkyard.
brothers, and they were all named Nicholas.
And there's probably some suitcases with some contents that had been walked away.
Hey, Nick. There's Nick, Nikki,
Yep.
Nicholas.
No, they're all Ed.
Yeah, and Eddie. Seriously.
That could very well
my
be.
God.
I don't know. So Tracy, this is your first time on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you got just to give some background. She started with us in April,
No.
March,
End of July.
End of July. So
No,
you're-
end of June.
end of June.
End of June.
So you're real fresh now.
Yes.
Think about
Yeah.
it. It seems like you've been here forever.
Yeah, a little bit.
So Tracy does all
She
our
fits
photography currently.
Yes.
And you used to do our photography as well. I shouldn't say that. I did the photography.
Don't look at me
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Some
Don't
dumb
look at me
hoe
like
over
that.
here took my job. Nah, I'm just saying. Nah, I love you. I love Tracy.
I
She's great.
100% take credit and blame for Tracy. 100%. I
It's
just
okay.
said, you know what? The way we were working things, Danny was in a couple days a week. Joe and
Yes.
I were trying
True,
to
I
do
am a
the
part-timer.
photos.
You were a part timer when you were only working 2 days a week.
Oh, I'm effing around. I'm just
I know you are, but I felt terrible when I had to tell you. I said I hired Tracy to take your job, but
Joe-
you're still staying. Just so you know,
Joe sat me down.
I did sit you down. I had to
down.
sit down
He
with
said
you.
you had to sit down with him.
I had to
Yeah.
sit down with him
did.
Because
Yes,
he
I
felt
did.
bad. He was
I did
like,
feel
oh my
terrible.
God.
Yeah.
But then we had to make up the other 3 days,
Of
and I'm
course.
like, this isn't working. Let me put it out there. Let me see what happens.
Yes.
The very first resume that comes in,
Was mine the first one? Really?
Yes.
very first one that
go
came
getter.
in. There might have been
She
one
is a go-getter.
right
Yeah.
before
That
it. There might have been one right before it, but
Really?
it really wasn't. The listing wasn't up there that long.
Yeah.
And I think there was. I'm sorry. I think there was one right before it, and I was like, and then I read this girl's resume, and I was like,
Right.
oh no, she's a perfect fit. That's it. And I didn't even, when I kid you not, I had about 32 resumes come in.
We did have a
Yeah.
lot.
and I
couldn't
hit
believe
number
it.
2 and didn't look at another one.
No, we didn't.
Didn't look at another single
Wow.
one.
I
remember it
Don't
was
be
a
telling her
very-
that. She would try to embezzle some more money out of us. I don't know.
Embezzle. Who's
Okay,
the
not
embezzler?
embezzle.
embezzling
Okay.
anything.
I guess it's not embezzling, but you know what I'm saying.
No.
Extort.
Extort. There.
Extort.
Listen, I don't know
That's
the
the right
proper
word. Let me
words. I'm
tell
not
you, though-
I'm not a true gangster. All right? Go ahead.
Let me tell you what it was though. First it was, okay, I sell online. She sells online, so she gets it. I looked up her store. I looked
We did look
everything
up your
I'm like,
store.
she
Did you?
gets the back end of it. She understands
We actually bought
it.
something. It came damaged, but you never gave us the money back.
Stop it.
It did not. It did not. And that's not true.
I'm teasing you. Go ahead. Next.
But the second thing was
Well, I was
what
making
hit
sure
me.
she was fitting a part of
That
our
was good.
The
thing. Go ahead.
second thing was what got me.
That one
She's
got me
like,
caught up.
I went to tattoo school. I'm like, and she's gonna fit right in.
Yes, yes. You're a tattooist.
Well, I used to be an apprentice, so
Right.
Because
right.
but so many resumes came in and we're like so uber professional, and I'm like, you're not going to understand what we do, and
We
you're
don't
not
like
going to
You're
last
not going to
long.
fit in. Like,
I saw hers, and I
think
mean,
professionalism
zero
of fun.
offense by this, but it was like she lives on the fringes of society like the rest of us.
Yeah, no. If
Like me.
anytime we would get a resume, right? I would
That's
love
fair.
when people used to come to where we started that conversation. They would hand me a resume, and you know, like, oh, I worked here for this, I graduated college for this, and I did this, and I did that, and I did this, and I did
just
that. I'm like,
like-
you're too qualified.
You're not
man.
going to
How-
understand.
Well, that's
over.
what the problem is a lot of times when there's like professional photography, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, and you want to be professional, but you also have to understand who you're speaking to,
Right.
right? You know, like, and so I'm not going to apply for Vogue or Bon Appetit or something like that, you know, like in the city.
it's very
Oh, no,
black
she-
and white.
she looked-
Paparazzi.
I mean, you know,
She looked us
We
up
should all
on
do
the
the
web and
paparazzi.
said,
We
oh.
could follow people around, take some.
you can. I
DMZ.
haven't done that, but I've done all the other kinds.
We
of
know
stuff.
somebody that was like that. Yeah.
You do paparazzi, you know?
Well, what's his name was kind of like the paparazzi who worked for the Inquirer.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Inquirer.
Mr. Len. I won't use the
Mr.
Len. I'll
Len.
just call him Mr. Len.
But anyway, so
We'll
her
come back
resume,
to that. I got a great
Mr.
story
Len,
about Mr.
Put a
Len.
note about Mr. Len.
her resume got me because it was like I'm sorry, but in order to work for us, you can't be this
Normal?
uber. Yeah. Well, then again, and I think we had this
Jeffrey.
conversation last time about being normal. But what is normal?
Erica.
But you can't be this uber corporate minded
No.
human being. Like,
you can't be
we're
corporate-minded.
this eclectic group of people that
Right.
just works together for the most part, except for today with Gollum. There, you know, he
I think
went off
that's
the rails a little
I think
bit.
that's true. I think it's a very interesting mix of personalities.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
But I do say, you know, Gollum excluded.
Yeah.
We all do seem to pretty much be on the same type of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I agree.
absolutely.
I haven't laughed this hard at a job
Yeah.
ever.
I do
Yeah,
really
no,
enjoy
we-
making Tracy laugh.
Like it is when we have to work, we have to work. We know when we have to bust our
Yeah.
asses, like
Yes.
we get shit done.
But then there's
Right.
no time to goof
But
off.
then, you know, you can have the laughs and you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
enjoy yourself. Like,
You can say and be whoever you want around me. Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
At least I hope you
And
I come across that way.
And I remember because Erica hates
Because I'm
change.
sure as hell could do
She
whatever
does.
I want in front of you guys.
Hates
Yeah, that's
change.
fair.
she does.
And I said I'm hiring someone, and she was like, "They're never gonna fit in.
Who,
It's
Erica?
Gonna, yeah, it's gonna mess up the whole thing. It's gonna be.
It looks terrible in here. It's all black.
It's all black."
Gosh, that was
I
last
paint, I'm
week.
painting
yes.
the building black, and
Yeah,
Erica
by the way,
hates
we
it.
are painting black. Yes.
But so she was freaking out that I was
She was
hiring
mad?
someone else. She was like, "This is gonna be awful. It's gonna because we have
She's
had
lucky big man.
we have tried to hire some photographers that really did throw
didn't
the
work.
whole dynamic off. It
Right.
did not. Some that I personally was like, Joe, if you don't get rid of them, I'm leaving.
Oh no.
It's a curated dynamic.
And so when
Yes.
I was like, Erica, would you
I like
please
so to
trust
speak.
me?
Yes.
Please trust me.
Yeah.
And the moment Tracy walked in for the interview, there was nothing else needed to be said. I was like, I just wanted to see you with my eyes.
Yes.
You're hired. We're done.
That was a very fast interview.
It was
Yeah.
It
probably,
was
right?
so fast. Like it was just like I sat down and it was like, you know what? I don't have any other questions. You're hired
Right.
if you want the job.
Yep. Done deal.
because I
Yeah.
put out in the universe. Like
Danny, I
I
put
put
through
it
the
out
third
there.
You came in very professional that day, if I remember. You came in a suit jacket.
I
if
threw on a
remember.
blazer.
You had a blazer.
I threw on a blazer and I
You had a
had
bathing suit on. Yeah.
and
you-
I had food poisoning.
Yeah, he had food poisoning. I learned this at our
I
last
had food
podcast.
poisoning, and I was just like,
realize-
"Shit, I should really just cancel and just like
I'm
rebook
glad you
it."
didn't.
Didn't.
And then I was just like, "How is that going to look?"
Oh no,
And then
you're
I
right.
was like,
No, I'm glad you didn't because
But
that would have been
Tracy
that would have
almost
been a no-go.
canceled her.
Oh,
Well,
she
that's-
did cancel.
I almost
actually,
did.
did she?
I moved it because
funny.
Ava had
Later
an
in the
ear
day,
infection.
Ava was.
Oh, so
And I
maybe
took
this
her
is
to
the
the
way to go.
doctor.
If they
Funny.
cancel in the beginning, you're hired. Maybe that's the way we go.
But the same. The interview was crazy quick.
Yeah.
Right.
because you get a feeling.
Yeah,
like
and then,
you're either
and then
gonna,
like we shook hands, and
that
then
was
I
it.
left, and then I pulled over on the side of Route 1 and puked.
And Tracy,
great.
what is your story?
Tracy,
Was
did
there
you throw up
throw
too?
I absolutely did not. I was good. I was good.
But you know what's funny is Erica hates change, and I want everybody to remind her of this the next time I change something, like with the black and how
with
she
the
hates it.
painting, yes.
Oh my God.
As long as
Tracy
it's not
came
gray.
in.
Oy.
Tracy came in, and within 3 days, she was like, I don't care what you do, but you keep her happy. And don't ever let her leave here. That is it.
Oh,
like
with Tracy.
she threatened
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah,
She
yeah,
threatened
yeah,
me
yeah,
if I don't keep Tracy happy.
Aw,
She
she's so
threatened
cute.
me. But
She's
so it
sweet.
was so funny. Erica was like, "This is gonna be horrible."
Yep.
Wow.
Somebody new is gonna
But this
throw
is
everything
Erica. I love her
But
to
it-
death.
you know,
but this is
That
how
is how
Erica
she
is.
is, and
Oh my
she'll
God.
admit it too.
Yeah.
I was putting
She'll
a new
admit it.
shelf up one day, and she was having a meltdown. She was like, "This shelf is terrible." I'm
No
like,
matter
"It's a
what
shelf,
I say,
Erica."
whether it's let's do this first. No, I can't do that
So
first.
she is.
Why don't we sell this and said no. Hey, why don't we raise it to $400? No. How about we go $100? No. Right? That's how Erica is. Everything's a no. But that's all right.
But
Then
she hates change.
Good things come
She
from
doesn't like
change.
change.
Good
Yes.
things come from change.
I don't
Yes.
disagree. Change is always a
Sometimes
wonderful
it
thing.
sucks. Sometimes it's not good.
but
But
I think the good usually tends
Yes.
to outweigh the bad.
Change is always good. I'm a hardest compellant to that. She has made me learn that change is good.
change is good.
Change is good. It helps
I
you
resist
grow.
it a lot of times, but yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's it. So you're doing the photographs.
Yes.
How does that going?
I mean, so we get the lots. Sometimes it goes back and forth, right? Because sometimes it's cataloging first and then I photograph. Sometimes I photograph and then you catalog.
Right, depends. It's like a race. It's like who's coming down the pike here. Now Tracy's coming in with
Right.
lot number 2 and lot number 4, and here comes Erica down the race with number 6
It's
and number
not a
8.
competition.
Oh, and now she's going about. They're passing, and Tracy wins 35-1. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But that's sort of, kind of.
Right,
Sometimes.
Right. No, that's how it is. It's like a spinning wheel.
Sometimes,
that,
it's a well-oiled machine.
It is a well-oiled
Right?
machine.
Like-
Well,
I agree.
and I will say, because I've done photos, you've done photos, and
We all have done.
Erica
We've all done
definitely does
photos.
have the mentality of like, how fast can I do this?
Right.
And it's always kind of daunting on the photographer's end, like,
Right.
But I will
Erica has
say,
done photos too, but
Has she?
She does not like it. She will not admit to that.
Oh.
and she'll
She'll
complain.
fight you tooth and
That's
nail.
interesting. I
But
didn't
I've made her
know.
do photos before.
She's done them.
photos, yes.
But I will say, nobody keeps up with Erica the way that Tracy does.
That's true. You're giving her a run for the money.
You really are
true.
giving
I
her
mean,
a run for
you
the
know,
money.
for
it's
the
just
money,
like you-
2 for the show, 3 to get ready. and
I
4.
couldn't keep up. Well,
Well, it's just like the thing is I remember the first few sales that I shot.
Right.
I just saw the tables and I was just like, oh my God, I'm never going to fucking get through this.
Right.
Like, never, because it was down one side and then back the other side. And I
Well,
was
it's probably
just
because
like,
you were asking a lot of questions. I'm sorry. Go ahead. The Riddler. That's my
I'm the
Riddler.
The Riddler.
The
We got the
Riddler.
Riddler and the
That's
Joker
Yes.
over here. Yes,
Yes.
the Riddler. But go ahead. Yes.
Yeah.
He told me last night it was Catwoman.
Yeah, you're Catwoman.
You're Catwoman?
Yes.
You're
yes.
Catwoman.
I like Catwoman. Yes.
okay, I can see that.
I'm Bruce Wayne.
You're Bruce Wayne.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
That's right. I'm Batman. I'm like the Lego Batman. I'm out of shape Batman.
Oh my God, out of shape Batman's crazy.
I was going to say, not putting that cat suit on. It's not happening. They would have fit. I actually used to have. I wonder if Janet still has that photo of you in the Batman suit.
Oh, when I wore a Batman
After the
suit.
auction.
Yeah, I was a lot skinnier. Maybe I was. I was probably about the same. I don't know. I fluctuate. 20 pounds fluctuating up and down. Is about
I
the
don't
same.
know. We had a photo of him. In
I had
that
a
suit.
great Batman helmet, like rubber.
Mask?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
With the
I
ears?
like Michael Keaton Batman.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I like
that takes
Michael
me
Keaton.
back.
Michael Keaton was the best. I'm sorry, but we were talking about photography with the Riddler. Go ahead. Yes.
Sorry, this is what happens when you get a bunch of people with
You
ADHD
just get,
together.
go down the rabbit holes.
And
right?
we
you
just-
just got to get back out of the rabbit holes.
Yes.
You know, it's like Candyland. It's we'll
That's a
get
good
back
analogy,
There. We
yes.
will get
Eventually.
back there.
Eventually, I'm landing on that ladder, and we're going.
But we always take the scenic
But there's
route.
always a slide.
Yes,
at the end.
I agree.
That's the Shoots and Ladders game.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
shoot? Oh, that's not
Yeah.
Candyland.
That's what we just
No,
said, right?
this
Oh,
is-
you said Candyland.
Yeah,
Candyland.
Candyland.
I was thinking
Shoots and Ladders.
I was thinking Shoots and Ladders too.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking Shoots and Ladders.
I'm thinking Candyland.
He's
Candyland's
like
pretty
Candyland.
windy.
Because Candyland go. Oh, I remember in Candyland, you take the stupid card and you're almost at the end, and it takes you all the way back. You
Yeah.
know, could you get the rainbow?
Ain't that life, though?
Yeah, it is life. Exactly. That
You
is-
know?
you ain't kidding, man. You are absolutely right. So photography, moving forward, where two
back, we're
rows
back,
were
we're back.
filled, and you were like, "Woo!" and smoke's coming out your brain.
Yeah, it was overwhelming.
It is
It is
You know,
overwhelming.
and
I do-
it's
yes, no, it's very-
it's
I agree.
fast. You know, you have to be fast paced, but you also have to keep that balance, right? Like you want because these are
Yes.
the customer. Like you're the eyes for the customer,
Yes,
right? And you
absolutely.
have to show what you feel is most important, so
Yes.
that they can see it because they can't touch it. They can't actually.
No.
It's not like in a live
You
sale.
are the buyer's eyes.
Exactly.
You are.
eyes.
You got
You
a lot
know,
of responsibility.
But also, people don't look at photos and they don't read item descriptions.
I don't know, but they're just
Right?
Well,
They don't do
psychological.
either of those
Tracy,
things.
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
I don't know. See, it's funny because I agree with her. For me personally, I'm more of a visual person. So when I look online, I'm looking at the photos and I don't read shit, and then I go, what the hell?
Well, and I will say sometimes things look very different in person.
They
Yes.
do.
Even
Absolutely.
though, they've taken clear photos.
Yes.
The color's right. Everything's right. I see it. And I'm like,
It's not the same.
somehow.
You know what I've learned?
different.
All buyers.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. Even so, this upcoming sale, I had Erica finally. I said I got sick of it because every time we do an antique sale, the number one question is it broken? Is it chipped? Repairs, condition report. That's always the question.
condition
And we
report.
stand behind everything we sell. And unless there's something wrong with it, then I'll put it in the description. So what I did this time, I said we're putting good condition in everything, except for if it wasn't.
If it
wasn't
had a
good.
chip or
Right. And first, right off the bat, 4 hours in, the sale goes live. I get condition report. Is this chipped? Is this that? And I look it up. I go, it's right in the fucking report. It says good condition. So
You don't read.
they don't read.
They don't read,
They
but
don't
they
read.
also don't look at pictures, and that's sort of the thing that I've experienced from having my own shop.
Right.
It's just they browse, but they don't actually, some people, they just don't take the time,
Right,
and so
right.
you have to be, like you're saying, their eyes, but also you have to keep in mind that there's still like 6,000 more lots to shoot.
yeah.
So I could spend an hour taking a picture of one thing, but then, I'll be fired.
I mean, think about it. I don't know about fire. We don't
I'd be
allow anybody
fired.
to get leave. No
Girl,
one's allowed to
honestly,
leave.
if Jeff is still here,
well,
You got to do something really, really bad.
I mean, you really,
I mean, it's got to be pretty
really
bad.
gotta fuck up.
You know what it is?
I don't know if I want to hear this.
That preface.
It's going to
Wow.
sound so bitchy, but it's so true. He will never fire anyone.
No, yeah. You got. If you're getting fired by me, you got a problem.
It's
Well, I
it's
agree.
Me.
It's coming from you.
It's me.
But if I,
Yeah,
if
I'm like,
I fired,
you really got to rub me the wrong way.
who did
and
I
piss me
fire?
off.
Let's think about it. I could think of Matt, who is Jeff's friend. He got fired. I made him walk home.
Automatically. I mean,
So
Jeff's friend.
Come on.
Red flag.
Well, you know what's funny? He got the job. Jeffrey got
that's
the
what they
job
had to
from
put
him.
on the paycheck too. Matt Jeff's friend.
Matt Jeff's friend. No, he got the boot. He really ticked me off, and he had it good too because he was living at my grandmother's. I gave him a truck that he was using as a vehicle. He had a company credit card. He had the life. And he
In my
pissed me
mind,
off.
your grandmother's
And
house is like Foster's
And I went fucking
house for
Foster's
degenerates.
degenerates.
Yeah, it was
What was
we
one of those
fostered
houses?
kids.
Degenerates. It was one of those houses in New Brunswick that was like, she owned the whole thing, but it was like a multifamily.
It was a multi-family house. Yeah. So I lived in the
Gotcha,
basement.
gotcha.
They lived in the basement.
Okay.
We had a
so-
basement too.
Now, I will say, theft is for Joe is grounds for stealing or grounds for fire.
I'll go
immediately.
nuts. Firing. I'll get the
Immediately
cops down, arrest them, and put them in court.
Of course, no, I hear
Like
you.
done
if you're
that
going to
too.
steal,
Well, I
just
mean,
don't
you're-
ever come back.
You're in a business of assets.
We
And then-
are in a business of
And then
access.
fighting was Joe's other thing.
Yes.
Like, you're
like
done.
fist
If
fighting.
you got in a fist fight,
If you fight another employee or
Yes.
something, you're gone.
That has happened.
yeah, but that's only
Yes.
whoever won got
Yeah,
fired.
whoever won,
Whoever
was
won
my
the fight got
stipulation.
fired.
Whoever won the fight. It didn't matter who started. Whoever won the fight, you got fired.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
In my mind, I heard that the other way around.
No.
Yeah,
If you
no.
won the
That
fight, you got to keep your job.
And I
No.
was just like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No,
you
my
won the
feeling
fight.
was if you won the fight,
Earn
you're
your
fired.
position.
I
That's
get-
crazy.
Yeah, no. If you won the
That's
fight, I'd
crazy.
fire you.
Heard.
No, you fired.
I fired
a
Fan
few
that way, I
people.
guess.
Yeah,
Fan got fired that way. He caused the fight.
Big
I
Al
went
got
nuts.
fired.
Big Al got fired, yes.
Big Al.
That would be Alan's.
Alan's
Big Al.
friend that just passed away recently.
Big Al.
Yeah,
He used to run the office.
He used to run the office.
okay.
Then he got a little ahead of himself.
He did get a little ahead of himself. So, yep, he had to go, unfortunately.
And he did some things that weren't okay.
Exactly. Rachel got fired.
Well, she stole
She stole.
$20,000.
Yeah, it was like 20,000 in jewelry. So, yep, that one got fired. That one went to court.
This
That
is
one-
why trust is a very big issue for Joe.
That one I still get. I get a check still every once in a while. If you
Yeah,
can believe
every
that.
once in a while we still get a
And
restitution
we're going
check
back.
for that.
Wow.
We're going back 18 years ago, and I'm still getting a check.
18 years.
Yeah,
Yes.
18 years.
Wow.
Trust is big
Don't
for
go
Joe.
to court. It's a pain in the ass. Actually, I shouldn't say that. You know what? You learn that taking someone to court, it's just not worth it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's really
Well, I
crazy.
mean, the judicial system in America in general.
Well, yes,
Let's not lie
exactly.
to ourselves, folks.
No, it's not meant to You got if you know the ins and outs,
They
you
just
can
keep
get away
putting you
with
through the
murder.
ringer.
Yeah.
Putting you through the
They
ringer.
do.
Putting you
They
through the
do.
ringer.
Yeah, no.
But no, it's this is why trust is a big issue.
Trust
for
is a
Joe.
big issue.
Sure.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Super important.
You
I
know,
think,
we've
for
had
business and then in today's world.
we
as
had
well.
we
You know
had
what
an
I mean?
employee steal $2,000 out of another employee's drawer in the office.
Yeah, that
And
was
now,
an interesting one
these
too.
people we're
Yeah.
talking about are not like how, we didn't know each other before
Yeah.
you came to work for us. These were people that were family members of people we considered family.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
One of them
Which
was
is even worse.
Was
That's
the,
worse.
Was
Yeah.
the
That is
soon-to-be
worse.
That's
daughter-in-law
terrible.
of a woman who clerked for Joe from the beginning.
Yeah.
One was the granddaughter of a church member.
Yes. No, there's
Like,
all kinds of.
This
yeah,
is
crazy.
not. These were not people we didn't know.
Right.
And you know what's tough too, because you're right. In our business, we're handling. Really, out of all honesty, we're handling $2 million worth of stuff a year. That's what's going through
Right.
all our hands. Think about that.
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
And you're dealing with gold, silver, assets, this and that. So
Even though it's all gross and dirty.
you got gross and dirty today, I guess. But we're handling
It can be.
assets of people's lives. I
Yeah.
mean, so it's that's a big
That's
no-go.
an interesting way to think about it. I like that.
Yeah, but
You know
that's
what I
what
mean?
we do.
You're kind of playing back into that cycle.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? The
Absolutely.
circle of life of
It
objects,
is.
of
It
things.
is. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
People get so attached to their objects, and really, at the end of the day, you're not going to take it with you.
Right.
And this is what I tell people: it was here long before you. It'll be here long after you.
Mm-hmm.
You get to
You're a piece of that story.
caretake.
Yeah.
You're the caretaker for it for a short time
For a little
of
while.
its lifetime,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Right. No, I don't disagree. I used to say there's an auction house down in Crumpton, Maryland, that Crumpton, Maryland, Dixon's Furniture. So, and out there, you literally is crazy auction house. Now, I actually modeled a lot of my auction house that way in the past, where they would have table lots and they walk. But anyway, they would have 3 fields: the $5 field, the $20 field, and it was like
These
it
auction
was like
fields are crazy.
200 acres of an auction house, all right?
Yeah.
And up and down these fields. And
Yeah.
literally they would get, no shit, probably 2,000 people a sale every Wednesday, and they would sell all this stuff in a field, and it was cash only auction. But I used to always say, yeah, you live your entire life and your stuff ends up in a field out in Maryland someplace, you know. But it's true.
It is
It's
true.
a
It is
god honest
true.
truth. And we used to laugh, and people would be going there and they'd be salvaging through it. And you would pull something out of the line and it would be $10 and go. And people would pull stuff out of the line, and once the line was done, they'd go, selling here to here, $10, and then they would sell the whole line for $10. Then go to the next lot and go to the next. I made
Yeah.
lots of money out there, but yeah,
I'm sure.
we used to
but
sell. I used to sell
selling-
tons. It'd be
That's
crazy. You know,
wild.
here,
Yeah.
So crazy auction house. It was literally like, so you had to go. It was on a Wednesday. Drop off was on a Tuesday. You would have to go on a Monday. I would drive there 2.5 hours, drop my trailer in line, come back home, go back there for Wednesday morning at 3:00 in the morning. So when they
'cause you had
opened
to
the
get in
door,
line.
it was first come, first serve. So
auction?
you've learned as
drop
long as
your
you were in
stuff
the
off.
first 100. If you were like one of the, yeah. So it's like,
okay. Now it makes more sense.
if you were first 100 people in line, your stuff did good. When you got to the next 100 people, now it's midday, your
Not
shit
so good.
brought nothing. You just got totally hammered.
Yeah, so
man.
you
And-
literally had to wait. Like a Black Friday deal, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in your car. Like
Yeah, I
your
used
car
to-
had to be in line, or your truck, or whatever.
I can't tell you how many times I slept in a truck out there, you know, and literally parked my truck and slept there overnight and camped out and things like that. And I'm
That's
going,
commitment, folks.
I'm going back 20 years ago now, 25 years ago. I was heavy down there. I used to love going down there. It was a thing.
It sounds
You
like a
would go-
lifestyle.
Yeah, no, listen.
It is like a lifestyle, but it's kind of like Brimfield too. Have you ever been to Brimfield?
I don't trust myself in Brimfield.
Brimfield's
Because I
great. You ever
have
hear of
zero
Brimfield?
self-control.
So Brimfield
is miles and
Miles
miles
of an
and
antique
Brimfield,
show.
Massachusetts, the largest antique show.
Yeah, largest antique
like a
show on the
market,
East Coast.
Yeah.
an outdoor market, and I have found the greatest things.
And
out
you do.
there.
You owe, and I will say, from anyone that I have heard going, it's everyone finds great shit.
Right.
And I'm
it's
sure
great.
I would find great shit too.
Yeah, no, it's so May.
Lord,
of
I
fun.
don't trust myself.
So they have it in
It's a lot
May,
of fun.
July, and September, 3 times a year. And there again,
Do they do it in July still?
yeah, May, July, and September. And what they would do, it was these farmers. They had this farmland. It's like a 2-mile stretch of road, and you have 9 fields. You have Mays Market, the New England Market. Anyway, they J&J. Basically, it's like the biggest swap meet of antiques on the East Coast, where when I tell you, every day a new field opens up.
Yeah, so not the whole thing's open one day.
Right.
Every day is like, this field's open, this field's open, that
field open. And every field has about anywhere from 200 to 1,000 dealer spots. So by the end of the week, you got 5,000 dealer spots open, and you have pickup trucks coming in that are stacked like you see these memes on Facebook, like, you know, it's packed 18 feet high, you know, with sofas hanging over and shit.
Traveling with all my emotional baggage.
Exactly. And they're coming in with trailers, and you're camping out, and you're having fires, and you're sleeping in your tent.
Whatever field you're in, you're staying in that tent.
Yeah, and you're staying in the tent, and it's like, you know, you have anything from $5 and $10 shit to $100,000 antique painting, early Americana, and it's like, it's just,
you can find anything.
You can find anything,
and
it's kind of like the Etsy of the day, because now it's turned into like not just antiques. Now it's kind of like more kind of folk arty and newer shit as well. So it's kind of a mix. You know,
flippers, you know, that type of deal.
I have found my favorite
not
thing.
Slippers.
No, I said flippers.
Oh, flippers.
Like flipping furniture.
Yes.
Well, that's where, have you ever?
I'm selling slippers in the tent tonight. Want to come try some slippers on?
It depends on how nice they are, but maybe, sir, maybe.
Right.
That's where that one show films, though. That show, Flea Market Flip.
Flea Market Flip.
That's where they
film there. Did you ever watch Flea Market Flip?
No.
Oh, you're deprived.
So it was a show on HGTV where people would get teams, and then they would go
I think we should do
to
this.
like Brimfield.
Flea Market Flip.
Yeah, and they would give them a budget, and they would buy pieces of furniture.
But they would give them, like, you need to create a bar, you need to create a sit, you know, like a chair, a seating area, and you need to, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they would go out and find things.
And you had to haggle with the sellers,
right.
and like, and then they would all go to a warehouse and then like spend a few hours fixing it up, but then go back to that
out.
market
Back to the market.
day
Okay,
and sell it.
See who could sell their pieces for the most.
And whoever made the most money won.
That's interesting.
Yeah, right.
You should do that.
Cool concept.
But I will say, I do want to go to Brimfield at least once in my life. But
so you've never been there at all. You just heard about it.
No, just because like I just know that there's going to be so
it's crazy.
Much. It's going to be a lot.
This will tell you how long I've known Alan. So when I was 19 years old, 20 years old, I don't even think I was I wasn't even running an auction. So I was probably 18 or 19, and he did Brimfield, and I went down there with him, and I got myself a booth, and I stayed out there with Alan. So we're talking back when I was 19 years old. So we're talking like 31 years ago, 13 years ago. That was the first time I went down there, and I didn't sell shit, you know. But I was 19. I didn't know. I remember. I'll never forget. So I bought this aviary. You know what an aviary is? Aviary, yeah. Like a bird cage.
Yeah.
All right. So it was a bird cage the size of that sideboard. It was like fucking 10 feet long.
Oh, did it have like the great peak?
Yeah.
Like,
So it was 10 feet long and fucking huge and all this great carving on it. I don't know. I popped for it at auction. I think I paid $1,500 for it or $2,000. I took that down there, and I had some bronzes and shit. I didn't sell shit, you know. And that stupid fucking Avery, I'll never forget. I had it, couldn't sell it. I think I finally dumped it at an auction and brought $200. I said, whatever. I lost like $1,600. That was like one of my losses my first losses.
You can't win them all.
No, you can't win them all.
And the antiques market is fickle.
Yes, it is
that's
fickle.
the thing that all these shows don't show about what we do.
Isn't that
the reseller market, the auction market, any, you know, is, I'll double my money on this, and I'll double my. There's a certain show, and I shall not name it.
I would name. It's always double your money.
Double their money.
Paid $100, sold it for $2.
No.
Paid $50.
There's a lot
sold
of
it for
times.
$100. I know what you're
saying.
saying.
This is crazy. You know, but
I know it's true. I feel like that's just for the commercial aspect.
It sure is a commercial aspect.
And everybody's like, and they look at us like, you know, everything's or even the Antique Roadshow, you know, because they're not. The feedback booth I always call the loser booth.
The loser booth.
I know it's me, but it's true. But it's those poor people who schlepp their stuff all the way there, and it was only worth $5.
Yeah,
$10.
You know how much? Let me tell you, how many appraisal thons I've done, and I have to. I'm like the loser booth to 90% of the people who come. You know, meaning I have to give them the bad news. Yeah, the bad news.
We do a lot of appraisals for charities, and you know, like
Friends of the
East Brunswick Friends of the Library, Allentown Friends of the Library. Okay, you know, different things. We don't charge them anything. We just come in and do it. And there's been some neat things, but Majority of
it's nothing.
is
It's the
Not
fun, the
great.
loving of a pipe dream.
Not great.
you know.
But like I've said, and I've said this to everybody, I know this. You know how hard it is to find that one item that's worth 10,000 plus. Or even the one item that's worth 2,000 plus. Think about all the things we handle. Think about everything that crosses the auction block. How many times you hit that $2,000 mark or $5,000 mark or $20,000? Very
It's
rare.
rare.
And we're in house. I'm after in house and house and house and house. And you think about it, the 15, 20, 30 items that are 10,000 or above, we've probably sold 30 in my lifetime. It's very difficult to find those items.
Yeah,
maybe more than maybe 100 times I've hit over 30 grand, but it's still hard.
It's the needle in the haystack. Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the best things I ever found, I'll never forget. I'm in a house down in Carteret or Clark, New Jersey, I think it was. And we did this whole house contents, and it was all a bunch of this regular stuff. And I estimated the house contents, I don't know, for like 3,000 to 5,000. That was a majority of what we did. I mean, most of the house contents we do are 3,000 to 5,000, sometimes 10 or 20. You get lucky when you're getting into the $30,000 range. But anyway, clean out the whole house. I'm down in the basement. One of the last things I picked up off their workbench was this vase, right? And there was this, he had a vase. It was about yay tall, 12 inches tall or so. Beautiful arts and crafts looking, green with these trees coming out, right? And he had fucking nails on it. He was using it on his workbench and put nails in it. And I pick it up and I go, man, this thing's nice, man. This is fucking great. But we promoted, advertised. I didn't know what it was at the time. This is way before the internet and everything else. This goes back 25, 30 years ago at least. So we put it up for auction and it sells, and it brought 8,500, and it turned out it was made by the Marblehead Company. And I'll tell you what, I'll never forget that mark. Now I know what Marblehead is, but it brought $8,500, more than the whole house contents. This one piece of junk that the guy said it was a piece of junk, putting nails in it. You never know.
That's what's so crazy, that it can be so variable. Like not only based off of rarity, but also based off of demand.
Right.
Well, and I'll tell you, it's the hard thing about what we're doing now is so much of it is people sending us photos of what they think is going to be worth money.
You're giving me the FOMO. I just told them I have FOMO. You're bringing up FOMO.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about
but it's the God honest truth.
Bring up FOMO.
You're right. And I'm a true component of that. Whatever you think is worth money isn't. It's all the
junk.
shit that you think is junk. That's what's worth the money. I've said that for years in talks. And it's the God honest truth.
There's truth in it. There's truth in it.
But it's turned out to be true. But with what we're doing now, when I tell you, Joe and I would take a day and we would go from the top of the state to the bottom of the state.
Yeah.
And we would leave this house at like 6, 7 in the morning and not walk back in this house till 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And hit as many house calls, and Janet would answer the phone and she'd set people up. And we would do that every week, sometimes twice a week.
I would say sometimes twice a week. Yeah, I would run 10, 15 house calls a day.
Every single week.
Yeah, no.
To get these deals in. And now we're relying on the people to send us the photos of what they think is good. And it's hard. So it's even harder now to find.
And I got FOMO.
Those treasures.
Especially in the beginning of the pandemic, I had real FOMO. She wouldn't let me. She would not want me to go out.
We had fights.
Just don't get any more records, okay?
I gotta go look at the stuff.
No more records.
I'm willing to die. I gotta go check out what's there. I'll die. I don't care. What if it's $100,000 deal?
Our poor neighbors must have thought we were nuts.
We would have these fights.
Because we'd be out in the backyard screaming at each other. And I'd be like, you're not going anywhere.
No.
I mean, we're talking March 31st, 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not going anywhere.
But I wanted to look at the
but
deal.
I have this house call.
I have
I'm
a
like,
house
I
call.
don't care.
Exactly.
Sit your
world
ass
has
down.
shut
Don't go
down.
anywhere. You're not allowed.
Like, we were out there. He's like, how are we supposed to survive? I mean, we were screaming at each other.
We were.
Our poor neighbors were probably like, oh my God.
I didn't want to miss anything.
But it was a challenging time for everyone.
For everyone.
It was a
in
challenging
ways.
time. But,
it changed everything.
we rebirthed ourselves into something better.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really what happened.
You're welcome.
Well, I think you guys, everything.
Thank you.
I think that's one interesting part of the pandemic that I think you're really a lot of people are starting to see the effect of.
Right.
Is that, it was a little experiment almost on evolution where it's just like you either evolve.
Right.
Or you
fold, or you're done.
Exactly, or you're done.
Exactly.
And that's it. And the auction industry is that one thing that you either embrace the fact that you are now going online, or you folded. And I can't tell you because, I mean, Joe's the president of the association. And in going through the past member list, just members, from 2020, the beginning of 2020, they paid their dues. Going through that list, trying to figure it out when Joe became president, more than half of them folded.
Yeah. No,
More
we're
than
fortunate.
half.
Well, we're fortunate because we
crazy.
adapted.
Folded.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. And
And
keep in mind, that's like a whole business.
Yeah.
Just gone.
Yeah.
On. And we completely, and so many others completely adapted. I mean, we worked for Max Span Realty, and he used to call their auctions, and I would work in the office
And
with
now
Nally.
they're all online too.
And now they're completely online.
Imagine buying a
which-
house online. I mean, that's unbelievable to me. But instead
know
of
about
having
all
that
that.
in person,
Unless I'm on Cheap Old Houses.
I
That's
don't
like
know.
some beautiful, like broke down Victorian. And I just
Right,
want to haunt
right.
the halls of,
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
and I can't see, how they're, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know how it works. They know how it works, but I never knew how it worked. Do you know what I mean? But that was the beauty of it. I got to show up there and sit, and Nally told me what to do. And if people asked me a question, I would say, I don't know, go talk to them over there and be low man on the totem pole. And it was absolutely beautiful. And I loved every second of
There
it.
you have it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, can you believe it's been an hour? It's been an hour.
Has it
already.
been an hour?
Has it?
already?
Unbelievable, yes.
Really?
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We will continue in the next episode talking about more auction stories on Bodnars, bids, and banter. Don't miss out. BodnarsAuction.com. Check out our auctions, www.bodnarsauction.com. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys all being here.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Yes. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Joe Bodnar here. Thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed that show. We'll be watching every single month here at BodnarsAuction.com, or to follow us at BodnarsAuction.com on Facebook, Instagram, or check us out at BodnarsAuction.com. Thanks for joining us. See you next time on the podcast.